dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From the Grand Strand of South Carolina, the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series is ready to get it on right here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sim Racing Media. Dave Regal here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. As tonight we are ready to get it down and dirty here on the sands of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Going to be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on SRM. And you have to forgive me, folks. Feeling a little out of sorts tonight, as last week I do want to apologize for my absence. Of course, I know that you were in perfectly capable hands of another broadcaster here from Sim Racing Media, but unfortunately my computer completely crashed and decided that it did not want to cooperate whatsoever. So I want to apologize for that, of course. And tonight, still working on rebuilding some of the software that you see tonight, as we'll get those graphics and all that beautiful beam footage up for you as Jeff Dillon from Millersville, Maryland finishes his qualifying effort. Of course, tonight, 24 cars going to make the feature, 20 cars going to make it from right here in open qualifying. Then, of course, we're going to have two 15-lap heats, and each of those heats going to have the top two from each of those make it into the into the feature race. Myrtle Beach Speedway, a very interesting racetrack, if you will, as we take a look here at Rob Nelson. But Myrtle Beach, as we see it now, of course, looking at it from high above the raceway in our blimp, as we saw just a moment ago, does not exist anymore as far as an actual physical place that you can, see asphalt. Right now, it's very unfortunate, but they're building condos on top of it like they're doing in a lot of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They're in Horry County. Tristan Swanson, you can see right here in the upper left-hand portion of your screen, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but that's where you would be entering. So we'll get to some of that tonight. It'll be kind of interesting. Tristan Swanson from Newmarket, Minnesota, wrapping up his qualifying effort. Looks like right now on the bubble will be Michael Ostiak, as Brody Byer and Ryan Smith just wrapped up their qualifying efforts. Deegan Smith, Sam Homan, Weston Moore, Brett McCoy, and Ryan Castle still have yet to go out and lay qualifying times. Ryan Smith here trying to get a little bonus coverage. Has a pretty cool paint scheme tonight. We'll see if we can zoom in on that. Of course, now as soon as we stop here, he's going to pop off the track. So still waiting for Deegan Smith, Sam Homan, Weston Moore, Brett McCoy, and Ryman Castle for their qualifying efforts. I want to thank everybody once again for making us a part of your evening. If you're watching us on the YouTube.com live stream, make sure that you let us know in the chat who you're pulling for tonight, as heat number 1 about to get underway. Of course, heat number 1 going to be featuring probably Jeff Dillon and several of these other drivers. So some new guys here tonight as we get ready to rock and roll. Just trying to wait for some of the pre-race announcements to be made tonight. Going to take a look at some race information. Of course, if you've decided to make it all the way down here just off of Route 17 in Horry County, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, half a mile around this little D-oval, if you will, 85 degrees the asphalt temperature. But I'll tell you what, if you're in the grandstands, 81 degrees, nice and comfy. Not too humid, partly cloudy with a nice little breeze off the ocean there. I'll tell you what, when you look here, and we'll see if we can find a better camera, and we won't be able to get a better camera from here, but, some of these camera views that we're going to see tonight, nope. Unfortunately, we won't be able to pull those camera views up just yet, but where these mobile homes are here in the upper side of your screen on the backstretch, that's opposite. That's a neighborhood that's existing. Then to your left, here where turns 3 and 4 are, just off in the distance behind there's actually some shopping. There's a VF Wrangler outlet over there. You can do some outlet shopping. And here where the grandstand is in the foreground in the lower portion of your screen, I took a walk in there somewhere in about September of 2023, and basically you can see the shape of where the racetrack was, but that's the only thing that's left. There are no stanchions anymore. There's no hint of a racetrack, which is really sad, especially with some of the history that's locked up here. Of course, kind of a home for Dale Earnhardt Jr. back when he was in late models and ARCA, of course. And this was a cool short track back in the day. Um, you know, we're just kind of excited that iRacing is able to make these tracks immortal at this stage. Just like, North Wilkesboro, Hickory, and some of the other going extinct or already extinct racetracks that we have, the scans that they were able to do, they will live forever in digital worlds here. And to me, that's just something really special because there aren't too many things that you can be so immersed in, in virtual sports. In the NFL, sure, you could play in the Cotton Bowl on Madden, I'm sure, but it's the Cotton Bowl's still standing, or RFK Stadium. But those are you're not immersing yourself, with a steering wheel and pedals and everything else that comes along with that. Here in iRacing, you're basically experiencing a lot of the same force and fight that these professional drivers had experienced here at Myrtle Beach over the years that it was in operation and in use. Of course, Myrtle Beach Speedway originally opened in 1958. 12,000 body capacity here. And I'll tell you what, from what I could see from my experience here, it looked like it was a really cool place to catch a race, if you will. I mean, where the grandstand is, as the sun would have been setting, you would have had that sun right in your face. I mean, it faces almost directly west. I can only imagine what it looks like if you were there for early morning practice. That sun coming up over the ocean would have looked really cool. Of course, the ocean a few miles away, but down there everything is so flat that it doesn't take much to feel like you're closer to the shore than you really are. Of course, the Whalen All-American Series was held here. The Myrtle Beach 400 was from 1993 to 2019. And of course, the Icebreaker 125 from 2016 to 2020. 13-degree banking tonight. The straights are going to have 4 degrees on the front and 3 degrees on the back, so no driver's ever going to be sitting completely flat as we get ready to grid up for heat number 1. 12 drivers led by Jeff Dillon, as these drivers are going to be crawling into those cockpits. Get that driver information up. Jeff Dillon out of Millersville, Maryland, going to sit on the pole here for heat number 1, joined by Rob Nelson on the front row. Row number 2 going to feature Ryan Latch and Caleb Adrian in the 29. Evan Leahy and David Boudris going to be in row number 3, while Ed Papineau and Dylan Roberts going to be in row number 4. Row 5 going to feature Brody Byer and Ryan Smith in the 50, while Sam Homan and Deegan Smith are scheduled to be sitting in row number 6. Unfortunately, I don't believe that they're going to be starting, so it looks like Byer, Homan, and Smith not in their cars. They may not be taking that start tonight. Let's see if we can mess with our tower tonight, as nope, we are going to go radio style for this first heat race. Of course, tonight's race brought to you by America's Auto Auction out of West Michigan. You want to check them out up there. I'll tell you what, there are some really great auto auctions in this nation, and West Michigan, one of them that you got to check out. I mean, we've got one right here outside of Philadelphia, and of course over in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But I'll tell you what, that West Michigan one, what a huge selection that they have. You want to make sure to check them out, as we'll get a chance to talk about them later on this evening. The iRacing.com pace truck ready to lead us out here. Want to take a look right here at turns 1 and 2. You see these little turtles here. If you get just a little too close to those as you're making your exit out of turn 2, or right here, as you can see right here in the bottom of turn 1, that can absolutely upset that automobile and take you for a ride. So lots of drivers are going to be trying to avoid that this evening. As Jeff Dillon going to have control of the field as the iRacing.com pace truck takes us through turn 1. Of course, always exciting as we're waiting here. The iRacing.com pace truck makes that hard left turn down pit road. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in, because when we come out of the 3-4 complex, the man in the stand with that green flag in his hand is going to wave it. And we're underway in heat number 1. Jeff Dillon with a good jump over Ryan Latch and Rob Nelson. As we've got 15 laps to go here, so this is going to be a pretty quick heat when we're already turning, 22-second laps. So less than 30 seconds a lap as Dillon going to be pulling away now from Ryan Latch, who's finally got himself single filed behind him. Don't look now, but Caleb Adrian is going to be working this low line. Adrian, wow, sliding right in front of Rob Nelson. Nelson has got to be just a little nervous here as he's loose coming out of the turn. As we're checking out some new camera views that I've gotten a chance to work on. As we roll it out of 4, it looks like Nelson having some distance now between himself and Adrian. Take a look at Ed Papineau, who's side by side here with David Bludress, as Papineau not happy to be where he is right now, trying to get it just a little bit closer. I'll tell you what, if you want to accidentally try to ruin someone's night, just get them a little too close to those landmines, those little turtle shells down there in turn 1 and 2. That'll be just enough to make it look like an accident, but as we know here in the broadcast, we know that it's not always an accident. Caleb Adrian starting to close the distance now between himself and Ryan Latch, as Latch is looking to go for P1 here. An interesting battle breaking out as we pull up the battle box here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Ryan Latch and Jeff Dillon dragging us down into 3 and 4 one more time, working lap number 7. It'll be lap 8 when we cross the start-finish line right here. So about 7 laps to go now, 8 laps to go as we've hit that halfway point. On our way to lap number 15. It's going to be Jeff Dillon, Ryan Latch right now, but Caleb Adrian really starting to creep in here. Another battle breaking out here on the racetrack. Not going to matter too much for the results as it's all the way here in the back, but right now Brody Byer and Ryan Smith getting the hammer and tongs out for what seems to be no reason at all. As we're going to see if we can get right on the nose here of the 78. And we can see how he's working to hold off the 50 of Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith right on. Whoa, here we go. They spin around. We stay green. There's the caution. Let's see what happened there as we caught it live. We're going to see it right from Dylan Roberts' perspective. And we see the 50 just got tired of him and spun him right into the wall. Can't really expect too much more out of that. In fact, you know, the way that things go sometimes in this sport, you know, boom goes that proverbial dynamite. But pace laps do not count in this league, so we're going to have to rack them, stack them, do it all over again. The iRacing.com pace truck diving down pit road. We're back underway. Right here, as there's a battle for second. That is a transfer spot if these drivers want to make it into that feature, as Ryan Latch and Caleb Adrian cranking up the heat here on lap number 13, as we are just about 3 to go, 2 now as we cross the start finish line. 2 to go here, as Adrian and Latch side by side. This is the battle that we've been waiting for all night. Oh, they make contact. The 018 of Latch bouncing off the outside passenger side door of Caleb Adrian. We're in that final lap as, oh, they're going to spin. They touch. They keep moving forward. The white flag is out. That's going to make Ryan Latch your P2. Oh, my. We have to quick look at this before they change sessions here. As the white flag came out, they already changed sessions. We can't take a look at that. So we're going to move on here, as we'll see those two make it into the feature. Scotty Gardner, Carter Stark, as these drivers getting themselves all lined up. Scotty Gardner going to sit on the pole here in heat number 2, joined by Carter Stark on row 1. Row 2 going to be Clayton Story and Jaden Dahlberg from South Beloit, Illinois. Of course, perhaps talking about, no, that's Beloit, Michigan, that was featured for the Beloit Snappers back in the day. Michael Berner going to be on the inside of row number 3 from Patchogue, New York, with Brent Edmonds on the outside of row number 3. Row 4 going to be Jeff Rogers and Gleason Smith, as Jared Sutherland and Weston Ward should be on row number 5. Jared Sutherland going to be starting shotgun in the field, as Weston Ward, Ryman Castle, and Brett McCoy not in this evening's heat number 2. Pace truck moving off of pit lane now. All these drivers getting themselves all cranked up. I'll tell you what, those first 15 laps were pretty quick tonight. Gonna be a quick one here as well, I assume. Of course, I probably just jinxed it. That'll be the end of me throwing that broadcaster's curse around here. As when we do get to the feature, tonight's feature going to be 125 laps. And I'll tell you what, if the racing was anything like heat number 1, I can't wait to see heat number 2 and the feature as we come into that backstretch. Some changes going to be made for the feature races. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. We're underway for heat number 2. Carter Stark gets a jump over Scotty Gardner and Jaden Dahlberg. Scotty in his traditional Hooters paint scheme, working his way past Carter Stark with pretty much no fight whatsoever. A little four-car battle here for the lead as we take a look at Clayton Story. Clayton Story working his way past Carter Stark, so now he and Scotty Gardner going to be sitting right out front as Scotty Gardner using that Chase Elliott Hooters paint scheme. Stark being begged to get out of the way as it looks like he's having a loose condition here instead of low, as he's going to be chasing Clayton Story. Whoa! Oh, Nelly. Jaden Dahlberg nearly catching a bad time out of there. We're going to see this right from Jaden Dahlberg's perspective. My goodness. And looking at these drivers from each of their perspectives, always very interesting to see what they're going to be seeing out of that rearview mirror right now. As it stands on lap number 4, Scotty Gardner and Clayton Story would be transferring over to the feature race. Jaden Dahlberg and Carter Stark, 3 and 4. Michael Berner swapping positions there, side by side. We're right up here to the blend, but watch this. Another Hooters paint scheme out here. Of course, Hooters does have a restaurant right here in Myrtle Beach, down by Myrtle Beach Mall. Being a big deal back when I was a teenager, but of course now I'm... Whoa, they make contact and around goes the Hooters machine. And we are under caution. We're going to take a look at that from Michael Berner's perspective. As he was side by side. Here it comes as he was just nudged out of the way by the 92. We'll see if we can't run that back by the 92. Going to see if we can pick this up right here from the nose of Carter Stark. Oof. Yeah, that's a rough one. Waiting for the software to come back live. For some reason, our software in replay believes that we are still under caution, as Brent Edmonds just crashed here on lap number 8. We'll see what happens with Edmonds. Not sure what's going on, as this may be another casual. Wow. Well, fortunately, that wasn't for. Oh my. Very strange. Just waiting for everything to update itself, because right now we're still trailing the pace car. curiouser and curiouser, as the White Rabbit would say. From Alice in Wonderland, the iRacing.com pace truck lights are out. As it looks like we're going to be finishing this race slightly behind. Just looks like it wants to be difficult here. Scotty Gardner getting the jump here over Jaden Dahlberg in the 36. They're side by side. Wow. Dahlberg getting a run here. Nearly catching that left rear fender of Gardner, but Gardner manages to keep his Hooters machine up atop the pile, pointed in the right direction. So it's going to be Gardner, Dahlberg, and Story, 1, 2, 3, here on lap number 11. We're going to see if we can just bring this back. There we go. Suddenly live, as now Jaden Dahlberg has crashed. We're going to see what just happened with Dahlberg. My goodness. Dahlberg being worked over by Clayton Story. Clayton Story catches that left fender as Dahlberg nearly had, and he manages to bring it nice and calm. Something no driver really ever wants to see is the field coming toward him. Waiting just to see if we can get this thing caught up. It's almost like it doesn't want to go into regular replay mode. As we wait for the iRacing.com pace car to dive down pit road, we're still on lap number 11. Of course, caution laps not counting here in these heat races. 125 laps the distance for the feature race tonight. We're going to assume some of these drivers are going to have a little bit more, let's just say, patience, if you will. As the green flag. Well, this is going to be an interesting restart. Not sure if anybody's going to get a black flag there, but we're back underway on lap number 12. As it looks like Jaden Dahlberg went off track here. Looks like he's going to, forced down. God forbid we should try to look at a replay. So as we get ready to rock and roll here, closing in on the checkered flag, looks like Scotty Gardner going to be in full control here on lap number 14. Looks like the white flag is out. Racing back to checker. Scotty Gardner and Jeff Rogers are going to be transferring over. as Scotty Gardner dives down here into 3 and 4 one more time. He's going to cross the start-finish line. It's going to be Gardner and Rogers transferring over into what will be the feature race coming up right here.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Left here in our warm-up session. So we're going to take a look and see Tristan Swanson here turning laps, currently second fastest in the warm-up session. Ryan Sierkeski welcome everyone in here to the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series, America's Auto Auction of West Michigan, 125 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Dave Regal here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Glad to have all of you with us tonight, as always. And of course, it wouldn't be a night where coming back from after a major hardware failure last week with my computer that goodness gracious, couldn't get everything running right the first time. The second time, why not? Everything sometimes has to be a little bit of a struggle. Evan Hassler currently fastest on track in his warm-up session. getting some last-minute things ready to rock and roll here. As we do take a look at Tristan Swanson. Jared Appel here in the 151. He's third fastest right now. Jeff Dillon, fifth fastest. So a lot of speed here in this feature. Of course, 4 drivers coming up from the last chance qualifiers races. As warm-up has finished and we are getting ready to grid up as these 24 drivers are ready to rock and roll here at Myrtle Beach Speedway on the Grand Strand. Of course, this time of year it's kind of quiet in Myrtle Beach. It's not the same as when you're there in, July, when the entire town seems like one giant amusement park, that's for sure. I will tell you, though, that sun is no joke, as my recent trip to Myrtle Beach caused me to wind up in the hospital. I want to welcome everyone into the YouTube.com live chat. Make sure that you're subscribed and turning on those bell notifications so that you can be notified every time we go live here, as we're waiting for Ty Fredrickson and Eric White to hop in their cars so we can do some driver introductions here. Ty Fredrickson going to be sitting on the pole position tonight here in the 36. He's going to be joined in the front row by the 106, no he's not, of Eric White. He's going to be joined in the front row by Jevin Goralski, while Hannah Rayleigh and Alex Papini going to be in row number 2. Row number 3 going to be featuring Tyler Jackson and Anthony Donta, while Evan Hassler and Tristan Swanson going to be in row number 4. Kelsey Rogers and Tanner Burge make up row number 5, your top 10, while Grayson Ward and Danny Mann going to be in row number 6. Jeremy Bingham and Jared Appel going to be row number 7, while Willie Nelson, but not that one, going to be on the inside of row number 8, joined by Corey Rogers. Brian Sire-Kasky going to be on the inside of row number 9 with Corey Rogers and Christopher Rogers. Jeff Dillon and Michael Ostiak going to be in row 10, while Scotty Gardner going to be starting on the inside of row number 11 with Jeff Rogers to his outside. Shotgun on the field tonight going to be Ryan Latch, as it appears Eric White has missed the start. The iRacing.com pace truck has already dove down pit road, as we can see. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in, because we're green flag racing at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Ty Fredrickson jumping out here to an early battle with Jevin Goralski, as Goralski holding the low side. And lurking just behind him going to be Hannah Rayleigh, as Rayleigh gets ready to work the low side of Ty Fredrickson. She's going to kind of have to hang Fredrickson out there to dry. Don't necessarily blame her. Let's go right to the nose. And she has got this machine all kinds of wound up. Take a look here and see her work past. And you know what? This is one of those situations where you've got to have some patience. And at this stage in the race, just a few laps in, you've got a long way to go to get to the end. Let's turn on that tower, and the tower not going to cooperate with us tonight, as we are under caution. Looks like it may be something going on here with Brian Sire-Kasky. Right here in the 81. Chasing down the 25. Oh! Just like a wedge, the 9 of Scotty Gardner driving through. So I guess we found a glitch tonight in our replay software. Bear with me, folks, as I think I can solve that with a couple of quick clicks. We'll see if, let's just take this for a little, let's take this for a little spin here. There we go, that's fixed now. And suddenly we've discovered how this is going to be fixed. Hey, we are learning every week here, and that says 0th. But that's going to be our first caution of the evening, so every caution we have just going to have to be added by 1. That straightened out, so we've got timing and scoring here on lap number 8. Jevin Goralski going to have control of the field coming out of turn number 4. We hit the restart and we're underway. Goralski getting a nice jump as I believe we're under caution once more. Are something to do with Jeff Dillon, perhaps. Jeff Dillon here in the 52 is what we're watching. That was the first thing to blink here on timing, and wow. Let's see what's going on there. Once again, it looks like it's going to be involving the 9 of Scotty Gardner somehow. So maybe right in front of him, the 81. We'll see what's going on. Bear with me, folks, as we're just trying to find a good camera angle. Because my goodness, Danny Mann. Looks like we're going to get a better look at it from here on Danny Mann's dash cam. Here's Danny Mann just behind the 6. He loosens the rear end of Bingham, spins Bingham around, and of course they collect the 9 of Scotty Gardner amidst all of that psychosis. Like we may even have the opportunity to get the old ticker going across the screen tonight. Let's see if we can make that work, because I do love me a good ticker. And there it is. Evan Hassler pushes Rayleigh out of the way. We're back under caution as it looks like Scotty Gardner may have had himself an incident here once again, as it looks like he did catch those landmines down there and spun himself around. Third caution of the night, of course, that counter there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, incorrect, but not the end of the world. I'm more excited that we can see the names nice and clear there on the left side. Strange trying to put a couple of things together here behind the scenes. Sometimes it just seems like nothing wants to cooperate when you want it to. Julie Henricks from Rockton, Illinois, as always cheering on Alex Papini for the win. Right now Papini running in P3, so he's got a good shot from right here. Julie, as we do want to talk about our sponsor, America's Auto Auction, of course, all across the country they've got some locations, but most importantly right now, West Michigan. They can be located at 4758 Division Street in Wayland, Michigan. Give them a call over there at 616-877-2020. Or check them out online at americasaa.com. And you can check out the digital inventory. Of course, you've got to get yourself a login for all of that, but all different types of equipment that they have. Of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to need to register yourself for. As we're here on lap 24 of 125, Ty Fredrickson going to have control of the field as the pace truck dives down pit road. He hits the throttle and we're back underway. Fredrickson getting the hammer and tongs out early tonight here on lap number 25. Looks like Papini going to come out the victor this time around. Just behind them, though, a battle breaking out here. We're going to take a look here, maybe from the nose, if we can, of Hannah Rayleigh. She's got a perfect view of this. You can see Rayleigh getting herself in here, maybe a little tight on entry. Maybe entering just a little bit low, but meanwhile, she's got a perfect view of this battle going on in front of her. We'll take a look here from Papini's perspective. Whoa! Making contact is Papini as he's about to be pinned. You know, while all of that's going on, Jevin Goralski is opening up now a 9/10 of a second lead over Fredrickson and Papini. So, you know, at this point, Goralski is out here. We can see it right here from the blimp. Out for a normal Sunday drive, or in this case, a Monday night commute home from work. Maybe he's grabbed a little something to eat as Hannah Rayleigh has brought out our fourth caution of the evening, or has been part of bringing out the fourth caution. As we're going to see just what happens. Oh, the 35 just caught her. We're going to check this out. Some frustrations going on here, as it looks like she drifted up right into the 35 of Tanner Burge and catches that right rear quarter panel, bouncing her down the speedway. Some tempers flaring on race radio. Sometimes you just have to be glad that you can't hear it. Here, going to be Goralski, Fredrickson, and Papini, your top three, coming back to green, followed by Hassler, Swanson, Rogers, Kelsey Rogers, that is, Michael Ostiak, Anthony Donta, Corey Rogers, and Christopher Rogers. So 3 Rogers here in the top 10. When we come back, looks like Willie Nelson, Ryan Latch, Brian Sire-Keski, all down pit road, Jared Appel, Hannah Rayleigh, and Grayson Ward all down pit road as well. The iRacing.com pace truck here on lap number 34 of 125. We've got to start to make some hay here. As the lights go out, that means we'll be going back green flag racing this time by. I want to thank our sponsor, America's Auto Auction in West Michigan, for providing the ability to put this show on YouTube tonight. Of course, here on Sim Racing Media, Dave Riegel live in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Glad to have everybody with us this evening. As Ty Fredrickson going to have control here. He's on it, he's on it. He hits the loud pedal, and here we go. Kowalski getting a jump over Fredrickson, and listen to this machine wind itself to the red line. Drivers starting to go single file now, with the exception of this little three-way battle here for second position. They'll pull up the battle boxes. They want to get the hammer and tongs out. Take a look. Wow. Right here at the 36 of Ty Fredrickson, trying to hold off Evan Hassler. As battle for second finally starting to sort itself out as Hassler all but shoves Papini ahead into second position. That switches this battle over here to third. And some nudging here from the 34. That's Kelsey Rogers pushing Ty Fredrickson around as Kelsey Rogers getting ready to wedge herself right underneath. That has the potential to be something dangerous. As we look here at Michael Ostiak just behind Kelsey. Now Ostiak looking to that left rear quarter panel. We'll see if we can get just a little bit closer here to him. As he's now being challenged by Rogers on the high side. Kelsey Rogers holding her own, running that high groove. There seems to be some kind of speed up there. We don't know exactly where from, but it almost seems like once you get yourself up there and you get those RPMs cranked, you don't really have to slow down, that you've got enough momentum to really hook this thing out of these turns. 45 laps in the books now of 125. We're starting to make that hay I had spoken of earlier, as we've got a good green flag run of about 10 laps now. Taking a look a little bit further back here, I believe that's the 17 of Corey Rogers doing battle with Christopher Rogers. So Mr. and Mr. Rogers beating it out here. 17 in the 00. Oh my. Looks like we're going to get this thing sorted out before bad things happen. As, you know, one of the things that we see in almost every league is, you know, you've got one driver that's able to pull away, maybe two or three, but the drivers that are out here and know that, you know, they've got plenty of time left, they've all gone single file. They can pick one another off one at a time, and we're starting to see that as we move further and further back through the field. It's these drivers here, drivers like Corey and Christopher Rogers, joined by Danny Mann, that this is what can ultimately slow the race down, you know, by them back here battling it out for such a far position, you know, 11th and 12th, 10th and 11th, basically 9th, 10th, and 11th for Corey Rogers. It's a 10th and 11th between Christopher and Danny Mann. But you have to imagine that right now Jeff Dillon is sitting behind them salivating, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. The thing is, if I'm Jeff Dillon in this position right here, I want to back off as far as possible. If they make contact and slide out, I don't want to be collecting in that mess. But here's Jeff Dillon saying, I don't mind, I've got the reaction time, as he's watching. Oh, he's watching Rogers and Mann sliding up into Rogers. They may take one another out yet. Mann securing, oh wow, and now hooked up there, but Mann securing away 10th position from Christopher Rogers, as Rogers all but was ready to take his nose clip and hook in to that rear bumper. Further up in the field, Ty Fredrickson now turning the heat up on Tristan Swanson, as Swanson is hemorrhaging positions now, down two. Biggest mover of the night, though, one of the usual suspects, if you will, Michael Ostiak, running right now in 4th position, up 16 from where he had started back in 20th. running through the field, it's going to be Jevin Goralski. He's got almost a full second lead over Evan Hassler as he does cross that 1 second mark. Evan Hassler running in P2 right now, followed by Alex Papini. Michael Ostiak and Kelsey Rogers round out your top 5, while Tristan Swanson, Ty Fredrickson doing battle right now with Ty Fredrickson and Anthony Donta currently doing battle for 7th position, while Corey Rogers watches from behind and Danny Mann rounds out your top 10. So things starting to heat up here as we approach the halfway mark, as we're on lap number 58, our longest green flag run of the night. And I'll tell you what, this is when you start to see, if the men are men and the goats are scared or not, because I'll tell you what, this is one of those times where, drivers are starting to get into their groove. They're starting to get really comfortable here at Myrtle Beach. And I'll tell you what, this is one of those tracks where you can get comfortable. You can almost get lulled into a false sense of security. And next thing you know, those little landmines there in turns 1 and 2 catch you off guard. I'm watching here, and it seems like he was having some kind of connection issue. Not sure what's going on. As we have crossed the halfway point, Jared Appel coming down pit lane, as maybe he's decided that, as Kelsey Rogers has been wrecked, we'll see what happened here. Kelsey in the 34 machine working the low side. The 18, getting wedged out of the way. Yeah, that's not what you want to see. The 18 of Ryan Latch, as he just comes down, and it didn't look intentional, but, bad things can happen at all times. Suddenly that's going to bring on wholesale pit stops with the exception of Jevin Goralski and Christopher Rogers. Rogers coming in on lap number 6. But now everyone from 3rd position all the way back through 14th going to be coming down pit road. We'll see what the deal is about to be. Of course, they can get that extra set of tires. Maybe top off the fuel and add some weight on top of that machine. As we see Rogers coming down for just that. Jevin Goralski now coming down pit road. That's going to cycle Alex Papini up into the race lead, I believe. Scotty Gardner not going to come down pit road. And we're going to step aside and pay a quick bill here on Sim Racing Media.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join the race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or even with friends. Feel the thrill behind
Tim Musker has to defend this contact very nearly. He just to the outside line. He breaks so much later. Musker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating banging and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Apromitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Coming back just in time for another wreck, and this one may have affected former race leader Jevin Goralski, as Goralski just hooked and rolled himself. My goodness, let's take a look at this from his cockpit, because as Goralski rolled, it looked like he had just basically been turned over as if he was, a piece of paper. We'll see this right here. As he gets himself, here comes the sideways, and he just grabs the wrong time. Pretty much as soon as he gets sideways is when he goes and it's almost like the car grabbed grip and rolled. Grab grip, there it goes. So that's going to cycle Alex Papini, of course, being cheered on here by Julie Henricks. Looks like Scott Kingsman saying several guys burned up their tires already. Yeah, I believe that one wholeheartedly. Here in our YouTube.com live chat, glad to have everybody with us tonight. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. And of course, also a huge thank you to America's Auto Auction in West Michigan. Of course, you can always go up there and check out the heavy truck and equipment auctions as scheduled that feature a variety of utility trucks, vans, equipment pieces, heavy trucks, and miscellaneous items. Now, here's one of the caveats to America's Auto Auction. It depends on the auction. The general public or anyone interested in purchasing may attend those auctions as long as they adhere to the auction's rules and guidelines for public registration and buying. So, a lot of times it's going to be a dealer auction as it would be known, but it is what it is. Back to a little bit of history here about Myrtle Beach Speedway. Originally Ramby Raceway, opened as a dirt track in 1958. The track hosted one NASCAR convertible series in 1958 and one Grand National East Series in 1972. Then Nick Lucas bought the track in 1968, paving it in 74, and Billy Hardy became a co-owner in 87. So, NASCAR had its hands in here for a long time. As we go back, green flag racing. They get the jump, and here we go. Alex Papini putting some distance between himself and Tristan Swanson already. Jeff Dillon holding the high side over top of Corey Rogers as they decide they're going to go at it. Look right here from the blimp. Looks like Jeff going to get a run off of exit, but Corey Rogers able to knife that 17 right in there. And oddly enough, now all of a sudden, Evan Hassler and Danny Mann just kind of using that same technique to get around Jeff Dillon, and Dillon just trying to get himself back to that low line as he has basically been hung out to dry with Ty Fredrickson, the next driver, to take that position from him. Of course, Alex Papini, the 2022 Rockford Speedway National Short Track Champion, one of the chief cooks and bottle washers here in the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series. Glad to have them as a partner again this season. Of course, we're looking forward to some more leagues coming back as NASCAR's regular season getting ready to be underway next month in February. Of course, this year, the Daytona 500 will be held on February 18th. And for those of you who do not remember or don't think about it very much, that, of course, the date of the Daytona 500 that Dale Earnhardt was tragically lost on. So Jeff Rogers might have brought it around. Let's see what happened with him. Rogers here in the 192. Whoa, bounces right off of the 20 of Jevon Goralski. Not sure what purpose that served, but there he goes as we're on lap 85.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes.
inside. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Apromitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway, where we have 35 laps to go now. Here in the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series, America's Auto Auction 125. Alex Papini, your race leader. Tristan Swanson going to be running P2 with Anthony Donta battling it out right now, side by side with Evan Hassler. Oh, Hassler gets sent up the racetrack as Corey Rogers just nosed his way ahead of him as well. Now Donta having to hold off Rogers. We see these two coming out of turn number 4. It looks like Rogers wants to see if he can beat the brakes off of the 510 driven by Donta. So far, so good, as it looks like Evan Hassler may have had the end of his night. Oh! Take a look from above. It looks like he makes contact with Danny Mann. They get themselves hooked up, and boom goes the dynamite. All of a sudden, he takes out the 36 and the 52. With Ty Fredrickson and Jeff Dillon, they're able to continue on, but definitely a rough night there for Evan Hassler, as he may be sent away to Dairy Queen, DQ if you will. That's going to leave Papini, Swanson, and Rogers all by their lonesomes up here on the 8th caution of the evening. You'll have to forgive us. The graphic is off there as it's automated. Sounds like Evan Hassler facing a possible suspension after that incident there where some drivers just run out of talent. I believe that's where that landed him. As we take a look here at the youtube.com live chat. Scott Kingswin saying Tristan is taking care of his tires and being smooth and he's going to win. Well, I mean, you know, you can say that now, but Tristan's just currently playing the bridesmaid here to Alex Papini, who has gotten himself out here to the lead. And with the way that this league sets their restarts, it almost always gives the race leader or the inside row 1 driver a crazy advantage. Julie Henrik saying that iRacing needs to scan Rockford Speedway before it's gone forever. And Julie, I'm sure that that sentiment is shared by many in this community. I mean, you know, like we've said before, iRacing is able to keep a lot of these tracks immortal, if you will, and forever in our digital homes. And it makes things really interesting to see some of these racetracks never actually going away. Alex Papini getting the jump here on lap 99, just about to cross the century mark as we're on the downhill side, 25 to go. Followed by Tristan Swanson, but don't look now. Corey Rogers says he's got what it takes here as he's trying to close the gap between himself and Swanson. The hard thing right now is going to be being able to get around Alex Papini, who is just out here logging laps and not bothered by much of anybody. As you know, like I said, once he gets out there, he just sets that cruise control, and all of a sudden, he's got his sights trained on the checkered flag. Just 9 cars left on the lead lap. Scotty Gardner bringing up the rear there, following Jeff Dillon, as they're going to have to battle out and see who's going to be the best of the rest. Possibly laps down as Papini now being challenged for the lead by Tristan Swanson. Swanson looking to the inside. Here goes Swanson for the lead. Papini able to hold him one more time. And now Swanson deciding he wants to knife his way under Papini. It's going to be advantageous for Papini to let him have that spot for the time being with now 21 to go, because you don't want to see somebody make a mistake. And they are now going to duke it out fender to fender here down the front stretch. Some door handle racing here for the lead. These two drivers, nobody giving an inch right now. As we look at it from high above in the blimp that just floated over top. Tristan Swanson nearly making contact with Papini, as now they do, and Papini shoves him down the racetrack, and he gets the run on entry. Unfortunately, maybe a little too late with 18 to go, as we may have a door handle finish, while Corey Rogers looks on from just behind here. Corey Rogers may have more speed than both Swanson and Papini. The problem is they need to get out of his way. All of a sudden, Tristan Swanson passing Papini. Let's see what happened here. This is the final time for the pass for P1. So now with 12 to go, Tristan Swanson, your race leader, followed by Alex Papini and Corey Rogers, as they've all gotten themselves sorted out and back to single file. Tristan Swanson, Corey Rogers now taking on Alex Papini, as Papini may have cooked up maybe a little bit too much of his equipment trying to defend his lead earlier against Tristan Swanson. And now Swanson swinging out and going high. He's going to start to log laps here with 9 laps to go. America's Auto Auction from West Michigan, 125 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. You're watching the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series live here on Sim Racing Media. Dave Regal in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Glad that all of you have made us a part of your evening, as right now we're watching Tristan Swanson capitalize on that move of the race, so to speak, off of Alex Papini. Papini at this point just kind of logging laps here, trying to protect P2 as he has gotten himself back up to P2. He's going to be followed by Anthony Dante and Corey Rogers, as it looks like Rogers wants to play spoiler for somebody. He just doesn't know who with 6 to go. Michael Ostiak getting ready to get, the 18 of Ostiak nearly getting shoved out of the way by Corey Rogers, as Rogers still trying to hold on to it. Ostiak pushing Papini down the backstretch and into turn 3. So Ostiak, who has been quietly crawling through the standings tonight, up 16, is currently running in 4th position. Watch this battle here from the blimp, as we can see Papini trying to hold off the 18. That's Michael Ostiak. Ostiak not able to get the run on entry that Papini has, but all of a sudden able to pick up that throttle a little bit earlier and maybe secure P3 away. This is a battle for the podium, as Dante has run away. White flag in the air. Tristan Swanson one more time around the racetrack, as we're not sure who it's going to be, as they roll out of turn number 4. Papini and Ostiak door handle to door handle. Ostiak nudges out Papini by a nose. Let's take a look at that. And watch this coming out of turn 4. This definitely should be watched one more time. As we can see, Papini and Ostiak, they are neck and neck and neck and neck. Coming out of 4, and just as they cross the start-finish line, Ostiak gets one wild and crazy finish here. As we're going to get a chance right now to talk to our podium finishers, want to make sure we first of all get a hold of our race winner, as we pull up that beautiful bean footage here. Hey Tristan, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
I'll tell you what, listen, you really battled it out for Papini to take that lead away from him here at Myrtle Beach. Glad to see that you were able to hold it together, especially amidst all of the mayhem that was going on behind you. Take us through this run, and, what was your strategy here? Rhythm and getting out front, or, patience and riding behind?
Yeah, for sure. My strategy was definitely just to go with the patience and ride as much as I could there. Um, I knew there was a few people faster than me at the start that I wanted to let go in front of me, and if I had the chance, follow them to the front, which helped me in a few cases there, and ended up playing pit strategy pretty good, and ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah, I would say working out pretty well is an understatement, especially when you're here to bring home the checkered flag at a place like Myrtle Beach. I mean, there's a few, treacherous things around the track, but, you managed to pull it all off. Now, looking toward next week, what are we thinking as we move deeper into the season?
Yeah, for sure. It's just gonna be kind of same strategy, same mentality and everything. Just um, these cars are very, very tacky, so you gotta really play your tire strategy as well, and gotta for sure be there at the end.
Absolutely. Of course, we look forward to going to Kern County next week. So, listen, before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank for this run?
Yeah, for sure. Just gotta thank all the guys at Elite Performance Industries and for giving me a fast race car every week, and Justin Brooks Designs for making it look pretty.
All right, my man. Well, listen, congratulations here on the win at Myrtle Beach. We will see you next week at Kern County.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Second here on the podium tonight, Mr. Anthony Dante. Hey, Anthony, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, listen, you battled your way up here onto the podium. I mean, that finish there with Ostiak was incredible. I mean, where Ostiak was basically battling Papini. What did it look like from your perspective looking back in the rearview mirror?
Yeah, it was a battle with me and Papini and Rogers there, and Michael was right behind me, and I was able to get to the right rear of Papini and get clear. And I seen them guys side by side, and I thought, man, just keep side by side. Let me finish this race kind of even. I knew I wasn't going to catch Tristan. He was out there quite a ways, but it was a really good run there. The last 20 laps, whatever that was, it was a lot of fun.
It certainly was. Well, listen, next week we go to Kern County. What are you thinking as we go to that little track?
Yeah, kind of just keep it clean. Try to be there at the end. That's what we did tonight. That's about all you can do at these things is keep the tires under it. These things burn up the tires. It's kind of, I think, what bit Alex. He went a little too hard on the fresh tires there, and it cost him the last 10 laps or so. So just keep the tires under you, have a good pit strategy, and keep the nose clean.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, congratulations once again on getting the P2 finish. Who do you need to tip your helmet to and thank for tonight?
Yeah, like I always say, my old lady upstairs for holding the fort down with the two boys while I'm down here playing video games on a Monday night. She's awesome, and because of her, I'm able to come down here and play with everyone for a little while. So her, and then Alex and Brett for putting in the league, and also you for doing the broadcast, man.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Congratulations once again, and as always, we will see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And finally, here on the podium tonight, after battling it out fender to fender with Alex Papini, Michael Ostiak, you come out the victor by literally a fraction of an inch. Hey, Michael, it's Dave. You got me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Yeah, I guess it wasn't a win necessarily, P1, but between a battle with Alex, that's a nice little win of that battle, right? So, yeah, no, tonight was good. Still can't qualify. Drivers got to figure that out, but for whatever reason, just being there at the end is huge, and we're able to do so.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch those battles unfold, to watch these races unfold, because you never know what's going to happen next. I mean, when you guys came off of turn 4, I thought, okay, obviously somebody's got to be scored in third. I mean, how white were your knuckles coming out of 4?
You know, even though it's a video game, my heart rate was freaking pumping. That was a lot of fun. You know, I thought that was a good hard battle. Alex was trying to stir the pot a little bit in a Facebook post about last week's race with another competitor in the points battle, and obviously he was the one racing like that tonight. So I'll give him a little shit for that. But no, it was a fun night. Good racing towards the end there. But yeah.
That's definitely what it's all about, a fun night. And before we cut you loose, who do you need to tip your helmet to and thank for tonight's run?
Yeah, so I always just give a shout out to the real life sponsors, because that's, you know, a lot of work and money and time and whatever focus goes into that. So Chad Johnson's band, Minnesota Transplants, and then Red Fox Tavern, Pillar Properties, Weichert Realtors, Twin Cities Cannabis, Beach King, Bachman Industries, Gillen Enterprises, Justice Brothers Products. So thanks to them. Looking forward to the real life racing season, but for now this will do. If I can get, you know, my heart going like that, like that's what I need right now.
Absolutely. Well, listen, congratulations, Michael, and we'll see you next week at Kern County.
Thank you. See ya.
Well, folks, another one in the books tonight here in the AllProSim Winter Challenge Series. I'll tell you what, every week it just seems like things get better and better. And the things that we're able to see from these drivers just make my heart pound, especially as we get toward the end of a race. And, you know, here we are at the midway point. Of course, next week, as I mentioned, we go to Kern County, and that's the mid-season. Then we go North Wilkesboro, Hickory, and Rockingham. So really some bread and butter tracks of the NASCAR style, well, really of stock car racing here in the Southeast. And quite frankly, that's exciting in and of itself to be right there in the cradle of history. So an exciting night here at Myrtle Beach, of course, on the Grand Strand just off of Route 17. Glad to have everybody tune in with us tonight over on YouTube.com. Want to take one more look here at the final results of our feature race, 125 laps we ran. Tristan Swanson brings home the checkered flag. He's joined on the podium by Anthony Donta and Michael Ostiak. Alex Papini, after nearly getting onto the podium, loses out by just a hair, finishing in 4th position, and Willie Nelson represents the end of the top 5. Corey Rogers finishes in 6th with Scotty Gardner and Christopher Rogers just behind in 7th and 8th, while Jeff Dillon and Ty Fredrickson round out your top 10. Your top 20 include Brian Sire-Keski, Evan Hassler, Danny Mann in the 010. Jevin Goralski, who led a good portion of this race, finishes in 14th, while Jeff Rogers, Kelsey Rogers, Jared Appel, Ryan Latch, Tanner Burge, and Hannah Riley make up your top 20, finishing second to last is Grayson Ward, and certainly not the least in our hearts after just 25 laps. Jeremy Bingham finishes in 22nd position. 2 drivers didn't take the green flag. That was Eric White and Tyler Jackson, and we're sorry that they couldn't get themselves in there, but at the same time want to congratulate our winner Tristan Thompson and his podium mates Anthony Donta and Michael Ostiak. So for everybody here at Sim Racing Media, I'm Dave Regal in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, thanking you for making us a part of your evening. And tomorrow, as you go through your day, remember that you're special, you're unique, and you're the only one like you. Good night, everybody.